When she left, it was like, okay, your work was done. And what was really fascinating was the day she left was the day in the clinical trial, like for them to do a biopsy of her skin. It was a bone marrow transplant to see if they took my other daughter's bone marrow, my other daughter has healthy skin, gave it to Bella. Would Allie's bone marrow in Bella start to produce marrow that would produce Allie's skin on Bella, but from the inside out, not a skin graft? What's really interesting about that was that because Bella died when she died, and it was that day in the study, they could do a biopsy of her throat because she was dead. They couldn't have done a biopsy of her throat if she was still alive. They were able to do a biopsy of her throat and find out that 25% of the cells were Allie's, or 30% was all you needed for it to be like working tissue. And they never would have been able to prove that even internal skin, which, your epithelial tissue, they would never have been able to test that. So it was a complete breakthrough in science that she picked the day, to the day, so that it could happen exactly the way it happened, because she was here to be part of that study. It was clear. It was so clear, Stefan, that we had a book outside of her hospital room where we had the staff write in the book, what did you learn from Bella? Bella is here teaching us all. What did you learn? And it was a journal. And there's these journal entries in there that are so touching from all these different staff from, who knows what walks of life. But they all interacted with Bella and they all learned something. And so she was clearly here as a teacher. And the other thing that she taught all of us was that impact has nothing to do with length of time. She didn't need to say anything because, in fact, she never did. She got a breathing tube because she was intubated. The only thing she ever said was the night before she was intubated, or the night of, we were trying to kind of suction her mouth because literally all her skin was falling off in her mouth, in the inside and in her throat. She was choking on it and we're trying to suction it out and she's fighting us. The only word I ever heard her say was no. She was fighting us. Then we suctioned her and then she said, ow. And those are the only two words I ever heard her say. Her whole life was lived just through her being, but not through her words. And it was a great reminder that go be who you want to be in the world. Don't talk about it. Go be it, because humans learn through action, through observing other humans in action. That's how we learn. The language you spoke first, no one taught it to you. You just observed it. Go be the thing you want other people to learn how to do. Don't spend your time talking about it. Go out there every day. The person who cuts you in line today, go be love to that person. It doesn't take any words. You may not have tomorrow. So don't think, well, I'll do it tomorrow. No, you may not have tomorrow. You may have decided today was the day. From her journey, it was clear that she had picked her on ramp and off ramp. So that's really interesting.
In Arabic, there's a word called maktub, which means it is written. I learned this from the book The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. If it's already written, this whole script, this whole movie, where's free will?
What is free will? Again.
I have my own answer. I want to hear yours first.
Yeah. The idea that I'm co-creating in the moment, having forgotten that I already wrote it out. Let's put it this way. As a musician, I'll never forget. One day I was in school and I had this, very lucky to go to a school that had this master conductor, famous master choral conductor. One day we learned all the parts, the script. And he said, okay, now let's make music out of it. I didn't even know what he meant, because to me, following the script was making music. It was like, no, that's just the script. Now, how do we express the script in a way that's art? How do actors take words off a page and make us cry? They're just words on a page. It's something in the process that's magical. Growing up as an athlete, watching the Olympics, watching figure skating, they get 2 scores. They get technical merit, and then they would get artistic merit. I don't know if they still score that way. I haven't watched it in a long time. But when I was a kid, I remember there were these 2 things. It wasn't so much that you did it, it was how you did it. It was the process. And what did that make others feel? Because ultimately, that's what art does. It makes you feel something.
Yeah, I love this quote that people don't remember what you told them. They remember how you made them feel.
Absolutely. And if that wasn't important, art wouldn't exist. So for me, art is the expression of the creation of feeling. It's a process. It links us. Somehow, life as a medium itself, because life is a medium, your lifestyle is a creation. It is an expression. even if you had written the score already, it's not enough to have written the score. It's how do you perform it? The orchestra doesn't, they have the score, but we all know that there are certain performances of great works that get recorded and listened to, and there are certain performances that don't. What is that? Why is that? Why are certain performances constantly replayed and bought and others not? It's the same score. So it must not be the score. It must be the execution. For me, I think therein lies the game is, how do you want to express yourself? How do you want to express the notes on the page? How do you want to make music out of your life? That sounds interesting.
I like it. You want to hear my take?
Yeah, this is juicy.
All right. So if we have our death date off ramps already set, preset by us, we're co-creating this reality. We wrote the script with God, but we get lots of scripts. We wrote all of them and their timeline, and we can choose to jump timelines. The more benevolent we are, the more outside our comfort zone we go, outside of our normal timeline, our normal script. That's where we get a timeline upgrade, get a whole new script that was also written by us, co-written. So that's my understanding of it. Let's say, for example, in this timeline that we're on currently, there's a war, but in a timeline where we do not currently occupy, but we want to occupy, we have faith in God, we have trust that everything is for our highest and best good, and we are focused on what we want, not on what we don't want. That's really the law of attraction. It's not like checks, I want checks in the mail. It's that where I put my attention is where I expect to be jumped to. Quantum jumping, timeline jumping, whatever you want to call it. So you feed with your energy and your attention the timeline that you are either on currently or that you want to be on, if it's something that's not on this timeline. By being more benevolent, being more outside your comfort zone, if you're in robotic consciousness, kind of autopilot mode, you give $5 to each homeless person you see, but this time you empty your wallet because you get the nudge from above. Well, that's uncomfortable. That's outside my comfort zone, but I did it. And then that person is able to buy the medicine that they weren't able to get because they don't normally get enough money other than just to feed themselves. And so they skip their medicine. And that's where we get the timeline upgrade. Everything's already written, Maktub, but it's a whole slew of scripts that we can choose from depending on our benevolence and our focus. That's my understanding of it.